it's just when it comes to actually ripping something, oh, I got wasps. Hey everybody, I'm Jason and welcome back to From Tree to Lumber. I know it's been about 9 weeks since I had my shoulder surgery, so I wanted to give you a little update on what's going on because things are starting to happen again for me, and I'm quite excited. So hopefully from here on in I'll be able to give you a weekly video. The shoulder's doing very well. Working on range of motion right now. I can't quite get it as far as I'd like, but it's getting better and better each day. My surgeon has given me kind of tentative and limited permission to use my power tools, so long as I don't lift anything too heavy, particularly above my head, which I can tell you right now is impossible, and as long as I don't get into a situation where the piece of work can suddenly be jolted, because that could do damage too. So I'm going to have to just change direction with the channel just for a little while, and start maybe making a few things that are within my capabilities, but that is going to involve the sawmill and going through some of the wood that I've got stocked up, which is now dry enough to use. Quite excited about that, actually. Okay, so let's get into it. Out here at the sawmill, I guess the first place to start is with the structure that I built, my little sawmill shed. I have to say that I am extremely happy with it. It has been really wet this spring, and it's done a good job of keeping the sawmill dry. So I have to say this thing's been a total game changer. It makes it so easy to work out here in the shade, or if there's a little bit of rain, I don't have to worry about it. It really is a big deal, so I'm quite happy with it. Ever since I got this sawmill, I've wanted to figure out a way to put on some kind of a ripping fence. I really don't mind the system that comes with it. It's just when it comes to actually ripping something, oh, I got wasps. And again, I guess that's what happens when you don't use your sawmill for a couple of months, huh? As I was saying, I don't really have a problem with the original Norwood mounts. They're great for logs, and they're not bad for edging, but they're anything but precise, and I find that, well, I've hit them a few times. I'd like to get away from the metal. So I made this nice hardwood one. That way I can put small pieces on. I do a lot of work with small, weird pieces. I can still use the Norwood clamps. Nothing wrong with them. I have no problem with this stuff. I should say that I don't have a decent table saw, certainly not one that's capable of handling 2-inch hardwood. So I have to use my sawmill as my table saw, and this is my solution to it. It'll be nice. I can cut shorter pieces. I can cut odd shaped pieces. I can cut angles. I can cut whatever I want. You know, with a little bit of creativity, I can make a pretty cool jig here and, you know, get stuff done. By the way, in order to mount these things to the sawmill, I had to add these 2x2 white oak, I just call them cleats. They're bolted directly to each of the cross members. So I just use those. I've drilled holes every 5 inches, and then I just drop through a piece of threaded rod or a bolt, nut on the bottom, so I can quickly attach them at different places, different sizes, wherever. And I also have them mounted to all of my bunks, so I can put fixtures up to, I guess, 8 or 10 feet long on here. You know, I'm sure that this straight edge is good for short stuff, but I might eventually want a longer one in the future. You know, I can mount an 8-footer or 10-footer on there. The next thing I've added to the sawmill is this large flat work surface. It's just over 4 feet, so it can fit onto my little cleats, and it's about 20 inches wide, something like that, and it's bolted down in 6 places, so it's quite sturdy. It's just two sheets of plywood glued together. I'm probably going to expand that to 3 sheets just to make things just a little bit more rigid, or maybe add some oak to the bottom or something, but I think I'd like it a little bit thicker. But it's kind of a nice surface where I can work on maybe putting some cookies, or I can maybe try to flatten some thicker lumber. It's very flat, so if I got a twisted piece, I can put it on there, hopefully straighten it. Just about anything. It's just a utility surface. The saw can, you know, access right down to to the actual surface, so I can go less than 1 inch. I think it's going to be a great addition, And the next thing is I've made it so that it can hold my shingle and siding attachment, and I'll show you that next. So the way this thing works is there's two stations set up, connected by this rod in the back, and it can do both siding and shingles. So very simple. If you go this way, it flips these stations this way, and if you had a cant running in it, then you could be making siding, right? When you go back, that's for the angle, that's for flat. Now, if you want to make shingles, then you would go that way. Brings it up, so you cut through a little narrower on one end than the other. Back down straight is flat, so as long as you're down straight, it's flat. That's for siding, that's for shingles. So I'm not going to demonstrate this today because I don't really want to lift up any big pieces onto here, and honestly it's not a priority for me right now. We'll get to that in a future video. One of the things this sawmill really needed, and it needed it fast, was a toolbox. There's an awful lot of small accessories that go with this machine, and there's tools for changing the belts and storing the belts and all that kind of thing. I just needed a nice toolbox. So I've got this from Princess Auto. It wasn't expensive. It is waterproof. How long it'll be waterproof, I don't know. There's just a wood platform underneath it attached to the two tongue components, and a bunch of 1/4-inch bolts holding it on nice and tight. It's all a wood understructure. That's pressure treated plywood and white oak, and I treated both of those with boiled linseed oil before I mounted this thing on. So it should be travel ready. I was very careful to make sure that the carriage, when it came back, wasn't going to interfere with this. It's back far enough that it doesn't get in the way of the cuts. So I think that's a great spot for it. I'll have to give it a clean up and maybe put a little no step sticker on there, so if it's not me, it's anybody, you're not tempted to step on this thing. But yeah, I think that's a badly needed piece, and I will make some custom kind of storage on the inside for the tools that I need. This is just the stuff I'm using to kind of progress with the sawmill in general. Another thing I've been working on is cleaning up all these old tools that are around here. I probably never mentioned this, but my grandfather on my father's side was a high school woodshop teacher. He was a craftsman before that. My brothers and I have both inherited a fair bit of older equipment from him. It's not in the greatest shape, but it is quality stuff. So I've been spending some time soaking these saw blades in some evapor rust, and they're coming back nice. I have to do a little bit of research on how to sharpen them up. But in all honesty, they're not that bad. Like, they're not sharp, but they're not abused, so it shouldn't be too bad. I've also started gathering the material for my first project back after the surgery. It's become abundantly obvious to me that I really need a workbench. I just don't have anything, so I've decided to make an English-style joinery bench along the lines of what Paul Sellers has to say. I've got this beautiful ash. It's all dry and ready to go, so I think that'll be a nice, easy, simple project to get me started. This stuff's not very heavy. It's only going to be a tiny little thing, maybe about 4 feet long, so I think it's well within my capabilities in the next week or two. So that'll be probably the next, I don't know, couple of videos, 2 or 3. I don't know if I'll drag it out too long, but I definitely need one, and I'm going to get on that ASAP.
So that's what's been going on. Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate your patience. There's more videos coming.